What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Then We Eat. This week, I thought we'd do some breakfast. I had to get up early this morning to put a brisket on. It's cooking on the barbecue behind you. So I figured, why not make breakfast for anyone? So this week, we're going to be making banana pancakes and bourbon maple syrup. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the bourbon maple syrup. So we're going to start, as we always do, by turning on our induction cooktop. Because we're cooking with maple syrup today, I am going to keep the cooktop at a very low temperature. You don't want the sugar and the maple syrup to burn. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to add a tablespoon of butter. We're just going to let that melt down real quick. Then we're going to add the bourbon. So the butter's melted down now. We're going to go ahead. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of bourbon to this. You're going to want to cook this bourbon down. You're not looking to get drunk off the bourbon. You're just looking for the flavor of it. The difference in the bourbon will impact your flavor. So like I said, this is Turkey 101. You can use Jim Beam. It's a cheaper bourbon, but it'll work. And you can also use more expensive ones. One of the ones that we like to drink every once in a while is Basil Hayden. Now it is a little more money, but it would work really well in this. So let's go ahead, let's add our 2 tablespoons. So like I said, we're just gonna cook that down for a minute or two, just try to cook some of that alcohol flavor off. Then it'll be time to add the maple syrup. I'd say our bourbon is cooked down enough now. Let's go ahead and let's add our maple syrup. I have 1 cup of maple syrup here, as well as 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Should just give it a little more flavor. The nuttiness of the vanilla with the nuttiness of the bourbon should work really well with the maple syrup. I'd say our maple syrup is good to go now. I'm going to transfer that back into the measuring cup it came out of. Then we'll start on the pancakes. So the first thing we're going to do is mix together some dry ingredients. So we're going to start with a cup of flour. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of white sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. So we're just going to give that a quick stir, kind of mix it all together. Now we'll set that aside and work on the wet ingredients. So for the wet ingredients, we need a couple of bananas. I'm going to start with the bananas because you need to mash them up. Probably be a lot easier to do that without everything else in the bowl. So I've got a fork here. Yes, this is a big fork. No, I don't have a head that small. So we'll go ahead, we'll mash it up, then we'll add the rest of the wet ingredients. So as you can see, I'm having a little bit of a tough time mashing up these bananas. You're supposed to use quite ripe bananas. Ours aren't quite ripe enough. They're pretty close, but you'd have a lot easier time if they were just that little bit further along. And to the banana, we're gonna add 1 egg. Just give that a quick whisk up, just get that egg beaten. And to that, we're gonna add 1 cup of milk and 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Give that a quick whisk. And now we're gonna start adding our dry ingredients to our wet ones. I'm going to do this a little bit slower. I just find it's easier to whisk the flour in if you do it a little bit less at a time, but it really doesn't make much of a difference. I'd say that's well and mixed now. One important thing to note is you're not going to have a perfectly smooth batter because you've got that banana in there. It is going to be a little bit lumpy, but it's banana. Don't panic. Everything's okay. So let's go ahead. Let's preheat our pan. So one thing I found out not too long ago, apparently nobody in the house is hungry. So I'm gonna make enough pancakes for just myself today. The good news is, although I have all this extra food kicking around, the pancakes can sit in the fridge for a couple extra days and you can make them to order. The same goes for the maple syrup. Now it will last much longer than the pancake mix will, but it will go bad because of the bourbon and the butter and the vanilla in it. So it's not like just regular maple syrup where you can kind of just leave it for years. And the other nice thing about pancakes too, if you don't feel like cooking them to order, you can cook them all up now and throw them in the freezer. They'll last in the freezer for quite a while. Then you just stick them in the oven, cook them in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. You should have a perfect pancake. I'd say the pan is good and hot now. I've got a ladle here, probably about a 1/4 cup or so. You're looking for about 1/4 cup pancakes, so you just ladle some out, pour it in the pan, cook them up. Be about 3 to 5 minutes cooking. So we'll go ahead, let those cook up. What we're looking for is a whole bunch of bubbles to form on the top of the pancake. once all those bubbles have popped, it's time to flip it over. I'd say we're pretty much there now. As you can see, I mentioned earlier about holes popping in your pancake and not knowing when it's flipped. Well, as you can see, this is pretty full of air pockets now, so we're good to go ahead and flip it. Just need another minute or two on that, and we should have a perfect pancake. So I finished cooking the first pancake, and somebody came along and said, boy, those smell good. So apparently they were hungry after all. So I'm gonna make up 2 more for myself right now. Pancakes are on the plate. Let's get some maple syrup on them. Time to try them. Let's see how they taste. That's really, really good. You get that nice banana flavor. You get the nutty flavor from the vanilla and the bourbon. They actually almost taste like banana nut pancakes. They're very, very good. If you like this video, hit the like button and hit the bell to get notified when we upload next. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Oh, and if you have some friends, share it with them too. And let us know down in the comments below. What's your favorite type of pancake? Or better yet, what would you put in your maple syrup? Oh, and don't forget, first we cook, then we eat. So good.